Hello everyone, welcome back to STEM and Style. Tell us a little bit about your academic history. I mean, I already mentioned you went to Caltech, but how did you learn where you are?
Yeah, so I did my bachelor's degree at UCSB in chemical engineering. I graduated in 2010, so date myself there. And then I did grad school with Vanessa, also in chemical engineering at Caltech, and graduated in 2015. And since then I've been working at a major defense contracting company.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you do at your job?
Sure, yeah. I can't get too much into details, but I work in the basic research organization for my company in a group called Nanophotonics and Plasmonics, and that's part of the larger materials and devices organization within basic research. And I do a lot of designer optical materials for different space and defense applications.
Cool. They can't tell us, but it's cool stuff. So is this similar to what you did in your Ph.D.?
Yeah, I mean, it has like common threads, definitely. So in my Ph.D., I did a lot of optical design and optoelectronic design for solar applications. So the application space is entirely different, but the optical design is pretty similar in looking at nanostructured materials and how to design them for different applications. So again, switching application space.
From solar to now, like what you're doing at your company.
Yeah, so now I'm doing a lot of the same like work on the ground, but with different things in mind. Yeah, it's pretty similar. I do a lot of research. I still publish some. The like primary difference in terms of what my job is that I have to market my work internally to applied groups to try to bridge that valley of death that all research falls into before it becomes a device. So that's kind of exciting for me.
So, how do you feel like you prepared for grad school, and what do you feel like you did? What do you feel like you did in undergrad that prepared you for success in grad school?
I mean, I think the research internships are really key. Like you get a sense of, whether you enjoy research. The first and foremost question.
Right. Is
this something you really want to do? Because it's not just more coursework.
Right.
And then secondly, what type of research do you want to do? And also what type of lab you want to work in, like advisor style. So I think, doing multiple research internships, I did 3 total, really helped me just figure out what things I was looking for in grad school. Yeah.
And are there things you wish you worked on a little bit more before getting to grad school?
I don't think you can ever really be ready for it. But that's true of like most new things that you start, or most interesting new things. I think, one aspect, at least at a big university like UCSB, you probably had a similar experience at UCLA. Like, class sizes, even when you get up into the upper tiers, are large, and therefore a lot of the work is like, just your homework assignment. Like you do your homework, you answer the questions. Like there's a right answer. And I think one thing that was missing was a lot of open-ended questions, because that's really like where there's not necessarily a right answer. Like no one knows the answer.
Right. But they just want to see how you think.
Yeah. So like that process was not really well developed for me prior to coming to grad school. But I'm not sure there's really much you can do to change that. Smaller schools are slightly better, I think, than larger schools for that.
And then the research internship also probably helps you develop that sort of answering that question.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that, like I said, only my final one was really that way at all, and it was only for a summer, so I just kind of felt lost for the entire summer. But like at the same time, it was like fun to try to figure it out. Yeah, so I wish I had more experiences like that in my undergraduate research.
So, what was the most challenging part of your PhD, and what was the most rewarding part of it?
I mean, these two things are going to be for me, I think. It's just that, like, for me anyway, the main skill you learn from a PhD is how to learn. So there's always that hump when you first start. Like, I don't know how to learn, so how can I do any of this? So definitely the most challenging part for me was, I think it was in like my 3rd year, and I had really started on this intense optics project, and I didn't have an optics background because I came from chemical engineering. felt really lost for a while. But, learning the skill to like ask questions and just in general learn how to learn, like that was really challenging, but also like very rewarding once I figured it out and published the paper.
Right. Is there anything that you realized about yourself going through this sort of challenging PhD experience and now as you're maturing your career? Is there anything you realized about yourself that you'd like to work on and you're currently working on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe this is common to all women in science, but like having confidence in a world where you're the minority is always a struggle, and we're not necessarily taught from a young age to speak up.
Yeah.
So I think that I've really struggled with that. I've gotten a lot better probably since I graduated. I'm not sure it's really something I learned in grad school.
Yeah.
But just to develop confidence that like what you're talking about with your work, that you know that better than anyone else. And also just having the confidence to ask questions when you don't understand, because that's somewhat terrifying. I still get somewhat terrified.
Yeah, like I feel like I have this conversation with girls all the time at work and like or at other companies. We still have the same sort of self-doubt, and even after we've left grad school or smack dab in our careers, and it's something that it's like, how do you work on it besides like talking about it and just like maybe getting motivation from other women and see how they do it every day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like a positive reinforcement that like when you actually speak up and ask a question, hopefully that goes well. For me, it's gone well enough times where like, you do it once and then it's less scary the next time. Another like key piece for me since I graduated was being in industry and working with people who have been in industry for 20, 30 years. And, having that realization when you're explaining your research to them that like, oh, I actually do know more about this than they do.
Yeah.
And that's like maybe not something you learn in grad school because often your advisors do know more than you do.
Right. You have to get to some level where you kind of are more of a subject matter expert.
Right. Yeah. So I think just positive reinforcement and like asking the questions and realizing that the earth didn't crumble around you.
And I've noticed too that, it also helps to sort of gain confidence from other women around you. I don't know if you work with a lot of women, but I've been you don't. I feel like they're new to my company, but if you're at a meeting, and I've been in meetings where a girl will say something and everyone ignores her, and then a guy says the exact same thing, and like he gets attention or sort of positive reinforcement.
I feel super annoyed.
I know.
Like yes, this happens so many times.
Yeah, so many times, and you're just like, should I say something? And I'm as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm speaking up more, and I'm like making a point of like sort of talking to like whoever's the authority in the room, but like, oh yeah, not in an aggressive confrontational way, but like, oh, so that just said that, you guys are right, let's move forward and just make it a team effort, but make sure you cast some light on it. And and I've been in a situation where the girl in question was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And, I'm a very shy person, and like this happens to me a lot. And even from that situation, she's getting more sort of vocal in meetings and stuff. So I think we should all help each other. The girls all should.
Yeah.
We should all help each other.
I think also just like having that realization, watching it happen to someone else.
Right.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. Like it's happening to someone else. It has happened to me, and nobody spoke up for me. And I feel like I should speak up for the newer girl in the room.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the science that you did in the PhD. I know you kind of talk about what you work, like how it's difficult to summarize your PhD in a few minutes, but tell us why your work was important.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I came into grad school and I just really wanted to work in alternative energy. I grew up, hiking a lot and like having an appreciation for the environment, being in California.
Right.
Like in our blood,
I know. I was like, clean energy, please. That's what drove my grad school work too.
Yeah. So I wanted to work in solar energy. It's kind of a lot of how I chose my advisor. And then I ended up working in this new grant. It's called JCAP, the Joint Center for Artificial Photosynthesis. And the goal of that was to design solar field devices so that were efficient, that could actually be used in the field. And
can you tell us a little bit what a solar
field is? So a solar fields device basically takes sunlight, converts it into electricity, and then that electricity is converted into or is used to drive a reaction. We were mostly working on water splitting, so taking water and splitting it into hydrogen and oxygen, which can be valuable fuel sources.
Right.
The more complex reactions, there would be then the CO2 reduction, which they're now working on.
Right. That's CO2 is a greenhouse gas, so that is just it's important work.
Right, and also like you are turning it into fuel that you can reuse. So that was like the main overarching goal. My piece in it was, as I think I mentioned before, optical and optoelectronic design. So trying to specifically optimize the efficiency with which the incoming sunlight is converted into electricity. And we were trying to do this all in one integrated device. So that plus the catalysis step. And so when you're doing that, you also have to keep in mind how the catalyst layer is going to be affecting that.
Especially the engineering background comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I liked it. I think most of the interesting research out there these days is multidisciplinary.
Right.
And chemical engineering is a great background for that.
Right. Did you work on experiments or modeling? Did a little bit of both? How did it happen?
I did mostly modeling and simulation. I worked very closely with experimentalists. The latter half of my PhD, I did a little bit of experiment, some growth and also some nanofabrication. And I think it was very valuable for me to have that experience of doing experimental work, but it's not really for me.
It's good to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is very valuable because then when you're looking for jobs, you know,
you don't want to be in the lab. Like me, I'm in the lab all the time.
So, being able to understand an experimentalist perspective, I think is really critical as a theorist.
Right. Of course. You're always trying to match theory with experimental results. So
yeah, and I see a lot of theorists and experimentalists working together, and they just speak different languages, and both of them think that the other is doing the easier task.
That's true. That is so true. That is all. That's the lifelong debate in science is the theorist versus the experimentalist. That's so true. So thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. But I would like to close this by asking you, what advice would you have given your younger self that would also apply to the younger, the girls watching this? What advice?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, oh man, what do you even pick? But going back to one of the topics you were touching on before, just having the confidence to speak up. I mean, that's really critical. Just knowing that it's okay to ask questions, and knowing that it's okay not to know, and that you're really going to gain so much if you take that step and take that risk to ask a question. I mean, not just in science, but also in asking for career advice, reaching out to people who know, to advisors, career counselors, whatever.
Seeking mentors,
Exactly. Yeah. It's scary, but it's incredibly valuable.
And if someone says no, just ask someone else. I feel like I was very discouraged when I first met someone who wasn't willing to be a mentor, and then later on you find another mentor. It doesn't really take away from you if you meet someone who's not willing to sort of take you under their wing, but always put yourself out there.
And even beyond that, finding the right mentor
is important.
I didn't really have an issue with professors not wanting to mentor me, but some of them are just not the right fit, and some of them have different ideas of what is best for you than you do. So, just putting yourself out there with multiple people and finding the right mentor, because that's just, I can't express how valuable that is. I wish I had searched for that more.
I agree. Well, thank you so much, Kate, for talking to me today. And we'll put some more details about Kate's PhD work on the blog. But thanks again for having me.
Thanks for having me.